live. What's up, everybody? This is your boy David King, and you are in my den where we can talk about LSU. We can talk about the Pelicans. Oh, we're gonna talk about the Saints today. We can talk about everybody because the state of Louisiana is a state that we love to cheer for. And today is Monday. My Monday's over with. If you're at home, your Monday's over with. Also, I hope you're at home, relaxing, watching the show. And if you're stuck in traffic and you're trying to watch me on a tablet or on the phone, do the like this. Me, road. Me, road. Me, road. That's it. And if you're stuck at work, well, I'm here to entertain you for another hour so that we can, hopefully, you'll be able to go home and enjoy your day as your evening as well. Well, you know how I always say that when I used to do my show on Spreaker, I used to always start off the show by saying, going live in 1 minute, get your snacks, get something to wash them down with. Well, I just realized something. I haven't done this on my live broadcast. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell everybody right now, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to go get your snacks and get something to wash it down with. Now, here's my snack right here. This old simple oatmeal pie. My snack. Now, I'm trying to be healthy, okay? This is healthy because it has oatmeal in it. So this is healthy. Here's my snack right here. And I'm going to take a bite of it because really I haven't eaten dinner yet. And I'm kind of hungry. So I hope you all don't mind if I just take a little bite. Boy, so sounds good. Okay. So I took my bite. And I got something to wash it down with. I can't tell you what this is. But it's something to wash it down with. And it's something good. All right. So how's everybody doing today? Mike from Plaquemine. He's on the show. What's going on, Mike? He said, hi, player. I say, what's up, Mike? Good to see you on the show. So today we're going to talk about the New Orleans Saints. I just learned today that the Saints signed ex-Georgia Tech quarterback Justin Thomas. And from what I'm seeing, or what I'm reading, they're probably either going to try him a wide receiver or DB or something like this. Now, here's my thing. My thing is this. Why can we not let this man try at a quarterback? You know he ran a 4.37, something like that at the combine. Very, very, very fast time. And I went and looked at his highlights from college. And, everybody who knows college football knows Georgia Tech runs the veer option offense. But over the last couple of years, they kind of evolved their offense and they kind of, started taking shots down the field. And I have to say, I had to get it out my tooth. And I have to say that this Justin Thomas kid, he has a good arm. He has a good arm. Now, one of the things I want to look at is this. Can he throw? Mike from Plaquemine says he can't be any worse than John Forcade. Yeah, that's the truth. John Forcade was actually pretty bad. But here's what I look at when I look at a quarterback. First of all, I look at poise in the pocket. Because if you have poise in the pocket, you'll be surprised how accurate and how accurate your throws are going to be and how much you're able to decide on whether you can go to the deep, intermediate, check down throw. Gotta have poise in the pocket. Your best quarterbacks in history always had poise in the pocket. Number two, can you hit the deep ball? Can you hit the deep ball? Because even in the NFL, there's going to be times when the deep ball is going to be open, especially when you have a scrambling quarterback. Deep ball is going to be open. The deep ball is going to be open. So can he hit the deep ball? Because when you hit the deep ball, that's field position or a touchdown. One of the two. And the last thing I look at is, can you throw with accuracy in the intermediate? Because they're going to be defenses that's going to try to challenge you to throw the ball, in front of them. And you got to be accurate when it comes to throwing those 5 yard ins and outs. The 2 yard. I mean, you'd be surprised how hard it is to throw a 2 yard slant. You need to throw it behind the receiver and get it picked off, or you throw it in front of the receiver, is going to be incomplete. So you have to be really accurate when it comes to a slant. So I'm looking at Justin Thomas, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? This guy is actually pretty decent throwing the ball. Now, a lot of y'all are going to be like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Y'all going to give me all kind of arguments to try to sit here and say that this guy is not cannot be a successful NFL quarterback. Well, I'm gonna like this. He reminds me a lot, and I hate it to be stereotypical, but this is what he reminds me of. He reminds me a lot of Michael Vick, but he can throw. I think he can throw the ball better than Michael Vick. Now, especially fans, we remember how Michael Vick, because Michael Vick tore us up a lot. There were some games Michael Vick just pretty much tore us up. And, especially us Saints fans that played the video game John Madden. If you played Madden back in the day, you always hated that person that liked to get Atlanta Falcons and play with Michael Vick. Michael Vick was unstoppable on Madden. I never played with Michael Vick. I always played with my Saints. That's the only team I've ever played with in the last 20 years or so that I've been playing John Madden. The only team I would ever play with is the Saints. But I just hated when somebody got Atlanta and they got money, because you can't stop the run. And if you try to play the run, then it's going to be a wide receiver that's going to be open, and he's going to get it. I mean, when I played against somebody that had Atlanta, I literally had to score at least 63 or 70 points. I'm still the best at Madden anyway. But it was just irritating to play against Michael Vick. And when you look at somebody like a Justin Thomas, let me get comfortable. When you look at somebody like a Justin Thomas, he has the speed. And when you look at his highlight film, there's not much throwing, because, quite frankly, Georgia Tech never really threw the ball. But when he did throw the ball, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And, I'm a stat man. Michael Blackman said he sounds a lot like Aaron Brooks. Yeah, I think Justin Thomas could be a lot more dynamic than Aaron Brooks. So I'm going to get stats right here. And I got a couple of stats that I wrote down. He was a 2-year starter at Georgia Tech, and he played some his redshirt freshman year. He played some in backup, but mainly he was a 2-year starter. And here's his stats at Georgia Tech: 4,754 yards passing. And I'm just bringing out his passing stats. Tyler G, what's going on, Tyler? How's it going? I'm glad to see you in the den. And I'm going to bring up his passing stats, because that's the thing that most people are going to argue about, is that he can't throw. So 2 years starter at Georgia Tech, and a freshman year, gotten some playing time. He threw for 4,754 yards. He threw for 40 touchdowns compared to 18 interceptions. Now, I think that's good. I think that's really good, because, Georgia Tech plays in the ACC. And over the last 2 or 3 years, with the emergence of Florida, Clemson, I'm trying to think of some other teams. I'm talking about some of the better defensive teams, which is mainly Florida State and Clemson. He did good against both of those teams. And he's played against SEC teams. Of course, they got the rival game with Georgia. He played against Kentucky. He played against Mississippi State. So he's played against an SEC competition. But here's the thing, even though it's not, against LSU, thank you, Tyler G, for giving me the likes. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. So even though Justin Thomas didn't play against the LSU or the Bamas, he still did pretty good against, teams that have similar talent defensively, like the Florida States and Clemson. And if you remember Georgia Tech last year, not just excuse me, the year before last, they pulled off the upset against Florida State. So I think Justin Thomas really, really, really does need to get a chance to back up. I mean, to play quarterback in the NFL. And here's the thing: I love playing with dual threat quarterbacks. I'm an offensive minded guy. I can score 50 points on you. I don't care what defense you have. I can score 50 points on you. You give me a high school team, and I go up against your college team, and I still put 50 points on you. That's how good I am as an offensive coordinator. I should apply for the offensive coordinator job somewhere. But Matt Canada took the position that I wanted, so I probably wouldn't get it anyway. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point being is that the dual threat quarterback is dynamic in the sense where you're able to make the defense have to think pass and run every play. And that makes a big difference. Tyler, I'm talking about Justin Thomas, the player that the Saints just signed today. I'm thinking that I'm just saying that I think that Justin Thomas should get a shot to play quarterback for the Saints. And I kind of made the point earlier that if you let Sean Payton work with you, and you let Drew Brees help you to read defenses, this guy can be a really dynamic player. Now I know we got Chase Daniel and we got Grayson, but quite frankly, evidently they must not be all that good. I mean, we let Chase Daniel go, and I know what Chase Daniel can do. I remember when he was in Missouri. I've seen him play some plays in the NFL. He's pretty decent. And Grayson is just probably somebody that's basically going to be a placeholder for a quarterback. But, okay, so Mike from Plaquemine says, it's all in whether or not he can catch on to the offense. Well, yeah. But when you think about a dynamic player like like Justin Thomas, then you kind of got to adapt your offense to his skill set. The wide open offense that Sean Payton typically likes to run, he's going to have his opportunities to run the ball when everybody drops back in coverage. That's when Sean Payton can possibly make a little bit of adjustment. Design some read option plays. And a lot of people say, well, read option don't work in the NFL. Well, you look at what San Francisco did with Colin Kaepernick and I forgot the running back's name from San Francisco. When they made that run to the Super Bowl, their bread and butter play was that read option. Frank Gore. Yeah, with Frank Gore and Colin Kaepernick ran the red option at in San Francisco when they made that run to the Super Bowl. That was one of their bread and butter plays. It really was. Well, Tyler G said, I don't know, man. I thought that Grayson was going to be okay, but he says that Grayson will be dropped. Yeah, he probably will be. I don't know. He probably not. He probably will be with the team another year. Surprisingly, the Saints didn't go after Chad Kelly. I really thought the Saints would have went after Chad Kelly, especially when he was there in the fifth round. I really thought they were going to go after him, but they didn't. But there's going to be some pretty good quarterbacks that's going to come out this year. So at least Grayson is safe for another year. He's safe for another year. But I just think Justin Thomas, next year. There you go. Tyler says next year. Yeah. Is there? Okay. Let me just interrupt the show for a little bit. Has anybody is the broadcast good? Is the broadcast good? Have I dropped any? Mike, Tyler, let me know. Is it running smooth? I want to make sure I got this internet. Yeah, good point, Mike. Okay, thank you. Tyler says 100% better. Okay, good. Mike said the same thing. So Mike made a good point right here. He says, remember what they did with Brooks. He came in as a dual threat guy, and they made him into a drop back guy. Yeah, They sure did. And the reason why the transition was probably easy with Brooks was because he had Deuce McAllister in the backfield. He had Joe, was it Joe Horn? Yeah, he had Joe Horn, Stallworth. Um, I mean, he had some weapons around him that allowed him to throw to receivers that was getting open, and also a running back that was able to take the pressure off the passing game. And you look at the current scenario that the Saints are in. You got three dynamic receivers. We got Coleman, we got Snead. Um, well, again, he's probably going to be fourth string. I'm not sure. It's probably going to be a battle between Coleman and Trayvon Doral for that third wide receiving spot. And then and Mike was reading my mind. Mike knew where I was about to go with this. And you also got Alvin Kamara. Kamara is going to be that running back that you can't run the read option with. You can run the read option with Kamara. You got both of those guys with speed in the backfield, and you also got the threat of the screen pass coming when you got Kamara in the game too. So there's so many things you can do with if you put Justin Thomas in at quarterback. But sad to say, he won't be there. Yeah, Tommy Lee Lewis. I keep forgetting about him. Tommy Lee Lewis, another speedster. So the situation is there for Justin Thomas to be successful. There are plenty of quarterbacks that ran read option that was successful. Well, I'm not going to say plenty, but there are a lot of quarterbacks that has been successful in the NFL, and they was been used in dual threat roles in college. I mean, prime example is looking at Dak Prescott. And a lot of y'all are going to say, well, Dak Prescott got the best offensive line in the NFL. That's true. That's true. He does. And he does have a lot of time to throw. But when you look at Dak Prescott, when he throws the ball, he puts the ball right in those receivers' hands. I've seen plenty of quarterbacks that had great offensive lines, has had time to throw the ball, and they can't throw the ball accurately. So you look at Dak Prescott, Kaepernick was okay. His accuracy, he had a tendency to throw the ball a little high, which a lot of your strong arm quarterbacks do have the tendency to do. But I think it's enough dual threat quarterbacks that came into the league to show that you can be successful with a dual threat quarterback. That's why I think, RG3, well, yeah, he was okay until his injury. RG3 was probably on the uprise until he got hurt. And after the injury, is pretty much just shot with him. But he was on the upside. Matter of fact, I remember RG3's first game against the Saints in the Dome. He did his hand pretty good, him and those wide receivers. So, and I had somebody on my mind, and I just forgot who it was. But it is a proven fact that a dual threat quarterback can come in the right situation, of course, and productive. I just think that running factor to a quarterback, that just makes your defense have to be more aware of the run, less aware of the pass when you throw the ball. Even if you're in a 5 wide receiver set, you spread the field. It's the same concept that just about every college coach has adapted in the college game. Spread the 5 receiver set, let your dual threat quarterback, go through his progression and then take off running. Now, don't get me wrong. The greatest quarterbacks in history are just pure pass quarterbacks. Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Drew Brees, Troy Aikman. Some of the greatest of all time are just pure drop back passes. But I think when you start to look at the NFL now, the defensive linemen are starting to get bigger. Tyler G says, Brady. Evidently, Tyler G doesn't know how I feel about the pay cheats and Bill Belichick and Mr. Brady, Mr. Brady. But okay, all right, okay, yeah. Since Tyler took the time out to listen to the show, I will mention Brady. That's for you, Tyler. But when you look at the NFL now, defensive linemen are getting stronger. they're getting faster. And really, offensive linemen are as well, but the progression of defensive linemen are basically out progressing offensive. And even Dallas situation, when you look at Dallas situation, there were games where that offensive line did get beat. They get beat, and Dak Prescott had to scramble for his life sometimes. Best offensive line in the NFL, but they still was not able to block a couple of defensive lines that they played. So when you look at the Saints situation, we all know that the Saints do not have Dallas Cowboys offensive line. The offensive line is good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. And what the Saints are trying to do, they're trying to build that offensive line so that they can protect Breeze for next season and, maybe the season after next, we'll see how that goes. But when you think about how defensive linemen and linebackers, they're getting so much faster. When they come on the blitz, they get you at the blitz. They get at you at the blitz so much faster. The dual threat quarterback is probably going to start to become more and more and more important in the game of football. It's going to have to, because you got to neutralize speed with speed. And like I said, Justin Thomas, I looked at a couple of his highlights, and I've actually seen him play a couple of games. And like I said, I think he's a Michael Vick mold, but he's better with the throw. He can throw the intermediate passes, and he can throw the deep pass. One thing, his deep ball is very, very, very accurate. He very, very rarely overthrew a deep ball. Michael Flackman says, when Brady, Breeze, and Eli retire, their quarterback in the league will change. Yeah. Dan Charlie says, I don't like Eli. Oh, that's funny, man. Only on the Sports Den show. Only on the Sports. So we got a new guest in the Sports Den. Man, Kieran Mitchell. I hope I pronounced that right, man. If I didn't pronounce that name right, man, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Okay, he says Wagwan Pifton. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Sports Den show, Wagman. I hope you enjoy. Please tell your friends and family about the Sports Den show. Share with everybody about the Sports Den show. Even our Facebook page. When you go to Facebook, search at Sports Den Live. That's the official page of the Sports Den show. All you got to do is go to the invite friends, press that button, click on that button, and just go all down your friends list and keep on clicking invite all your friends. We try to have fun on the show. He wants to know, can I like headbang or something? Okay. New Orleans Saints. Here they come. That good enough for you? When they come to town. New Orleans Saints. Okay, so hey, I thought it was pretty good, man. I even tied it in to the Saints. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Give me a break. Give me a break. Okay. But now getting back to the Justin Thomas theme, he has a good enough arm. Of course, he doesn't have the Breeze arm. Okay, so Wagman says, I give you a 2 out of 10. Okay, hey, if I get 2, that means that I'm pretty decent. You could have gave me a 0, but hey, it's all good. I take whatever I can get. But Justin Thomas, I think, would be a good option to come in and play quarterback. Now, we all know Sean Payton offense is designed for Breeze, to fit Breeze's talent, because Breeze can hit every throw. It's amazing how Breeze is roughly around 40 years old, and he can still perform the way that he can perform, and it's really, really still amazing. Yeah, passing, exactly. So I just think that in a Sean Payton offense, and this is what I want to see, and this is just as a fan wanting to see how Sean Payton can call an offensive game plan with a dual threat quarterback. That's what I'm really, really, really itching to see. how he can do it, a dual threat quarterback. Tyler G says, bad that everyone knows we're a passing team. Yeah, and they still couldn't stop us. You know, the only thing that really stopped us was ourselves. We were the only one stopped ourselves. And that was because our defense was suspect. The running game was suspect. We couldn't really run the ball to keep the clock going, you know, to keep the lead. So Drew Brees was forced to pass. I mean, even the greatest, I don't care how good you are in the NFL, if the defense knows you're going to pass, you're going to throw an interception sometime, at some point in time. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Drew Brees and you have Jerry Rice in his prime, and you have you know, the best wide receivers in their prime. In the NFL, if you're a pass heavy, you're going to throw the interception every once in a while. And that was what Brees was forced to do. Brees has won a lot of games for us, and let's be honest, Brees has lost a couple of games for us, especially with those fourth quarter interceptions. And I can't really blame him because of the simple fact that we just didn't have the defense to hold the lead. And we just don't have a running back that we could just keep feeding the ball, that could keep the chains moving to keep that other team's offense off the field. But it is what it is. So Tyler G says 3rd and 5, they know we go in the pass. Yep. Michael Plackerman says he does not have to run. All he has to do is to manage the pocket. Brees is the pocket manager. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, you know, like I was saying earlier, when you got a quarterback that can run as fast as he can, there are going to be times where the defense is going to sell out on you. And when that defense sells out on you, you got to be able to hit that open receiver. And there are going to be times where they're going to dare you to run the ball. The defense is going to drop back in a little medium zone, soft zone, something like that. And they're going to dare you to run the ball as soon as you cross the line of scrimmage. Then that's when they come in after you. And that's where I think Justin Thomas can be dangerous. You know, when you run a 4.3 40 and as fast as he is, you know, you can outrun a lot of people. You can outrun a lot of people. And Tyler G says, talking about the backfield, man, we need a better running back. And I think we definitely got the running back in Kamara. Kamara's going to be, he's probably going to be the future feature back of New Orleans. He is. Watch what I tell you. And then Tyler G said Ingram is okay. Michael Plackerman, I guess you don't like Ingram. He says F Ingram. Tyler G says, I agree and can't depend on him. No, you can't. You really can't. Because here's the thing about Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram is a bruising back. But Mark Ingram can't find that hole. I've seen Mark Ingram so many times just running to the line, not finding the hole, just running into the line and gaining, you know, he's trying to push the line by himself and only gaining 1-2 yards, maybe 3. Instead of just being patient, looking for the hole and try to get 5 yards. But here's the catch. Mark Ingram don't have the burst of speed that when that hole do open for that little second to get through it. So Mark Ingram is kind of screwed either way. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, I give it to him all day long. He's good for 1 yard at least. I think so. And but when it comes to 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, don't give him the ball because you know you're going to get 1-2 yards, and you're still going to wind up punting the ball anyway. So that's why the Saints were forced to have to throw the ball on 3rd and short. 3rd and short. Michael Plackerman says Ingram does not fit this offense, and Kamara does. Yeah, I agree. I agree. When I seen Tennessee a couple of times this year, I seen Ingram and I seen the other running back they had. I forget his name, but I said to myself, "Boy, those guys are going to be good in the NFL." Kamara is quick. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run between tackles. You know, and you know he's going to gain some weight when he gets into the weight program, the professional weight program. So he's probably going to gain at least 10 pounds. And he's going to need that 10 pounds because I really do think Kamara is going to be the future feature back of the Saints. I really do. And when you put him and Justin Thomas in the backfield together, and you got Coleman. I mean, excuse me, and you got Michael Thomas, and you got Willie Snead, and you're gonna have a Trayvon Durrell, a Tommy Lewis, and you got Kobe Fleener, not Fleener, Thomas, David Thomas, a tight end. It's too many weapons. Too many weapons. And see, that's the forgotten factor right there, David Thomas. The tight end. I think I'm thinking about the right person, David Thomas. Yeah, because Fleener didn't really do too much, but I think David Thomas did a great job as far as in the receiving in the backfield. So when you get a combination of that, it's already deadly if you got Breeze in the backfield. But when you add that running dynamic to the quarterback, it's even more deadlier. See, and that way you kind of can run the same principle that a lot of the college spread options off doing in college. You basically you can do ball control because you got the receivers on the outside that can threat to catch the ball over the middle or go deep. So the safety's got to still watch out for that. And you got a running back in Kamara that can catch the screen pass, take it to the house, or you could do the read option, gain 5 or 10 yards. It's so much you can do. It's so much you can do. And Tyler G says, need a deuce type of running back again. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We do need a deuce. Kamara can do, a lot of the, okay, that's somebody. That's my phone. The phone for the show. Kamara can do a lot of things Thomas can do. Catch the ball in the backfield and, kind of joke and stuff like that. But Pierre Thomas has some power, too. I've seen him break a lot of tackles, too. Michael Flackerman says Kamara equals Pierre Thomas. Yes, I do. And it's funny, it's ironic that we bring up Pierre Thomas because, as you know, I've been having internet problems. So what I did was the guy came and replaced my modem and everything, did all the things he needed to do. I wanted to just test my internet to make sure that it's not going in and out. Because that was the original problem. Anyway, my internet kept going in and out, in and out. That's why my broadcast is so choppy and kept on being broken up. So the ultimate internet test as far as speed and longevity is YouTube. So I just typed in New Orleans Saints and I said, you know what? Let me go look at that old 2009 game against the Minnesota Vikings, that NFC Championship game. So I sat there and watched the whole game. And, it's great the internet didn't go in and out. The internet stayed in place. That's great. But then I looked at the plays that Pierre Thomas was doing. Boy, they was running that screen pass. I mean, it was like Pierre Thomas and Drew Brees, they mastered that screen pass, man. They really met. And that game right there, Pierre Thomas caught one, took it to the house. I think it was, if I remember, the first touchdown they scored in that game. Man, Pierre Thomas was such a dynamic back for the Saints. And, he was an undrafted free agent. He wasn't even drafted. That was the most impressive thing about the whole thing. He was undrafted. Came in and was one of the best runners in the league. You can say what you want to. I think he was a top 10 running back in the league. He really was. All-around player, really, what you could say. I kind of see Kamara doing the same thing. But going back to Justin Thomas, when you have weapons like that around you, reading the defense becomes a lot easier. Because the defense can't really do anything besides probably play man-to-man. And when you got a quarterback like a Justin Thomas back there that's fast, can take off and get 10 yards on a scramble, you're going to have either a safety or a linebacker that's going to spy you. You're either going to have somebody that's going to spy you. All right, Michael Plackerman, he's about to bounce. He says he's going to watch this Houston Astros. Yeah, what about that grand slam by Bregman last night, or was it like before? Yeah, last night. Man, wasn't that good to see an LSU player? Whenever you see LSU players do well in the big, it just adds a little something extra to it. And really Louisiana players as well, because we got so many players in professional sports from the state of Louisiana. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, for a state that small to put out that much professional pro league talent is amazing. Amazing. I might try to go watch catch the rest of that Houston Astros Yankees game myself. But we're gonna finish this show. So that's why I think that Justin Thomas should be a good candidate to be Drew Brees' successor. But sad to say, he's not. I mean, I don't even think they're going to entertain him having a chance to go play quarterback. He's probably going to try. They're probably going to try to let him play receiver or DB or something like that. But I just felt like I just wanted to just express this because I really do think Justin Thomas, especially after looking at his highlights, ACC wasn't really no slouch of a conference. You still had two powerhouses in Florida State and Clemson, and he beat Florida State one time, came close to beating Clemson a couple of times. And, he's played against SEC talent, even though it wasn't LSU, Alabama, Kentucky, Mississippi State, that's still SEC talent. So I just think that it's a shame he won't give a chance to show his stuff, but boy, would it be nice if he could. Would it be nice if he could? But, the Saints held a rookie training camp this past weekend. Haven't really read anything much about what was going on. Basically, I just seen a whole bunch of pictures. Looks like a lot of the players were there. I didn't read anything about injuries, anything like that. So that's good. That's good that we didn't read anything about injuries because, that's one thing that we're going to have to do is just keep everything. We're going to have to keep away from injuries. Even though the Saints drafted a whole bunch of different players with injury problems in college, hopefully they won't get bit by the injury bug, and hopefully they will be able to perform at a high level. Some of them I think are overrated, but the three players that I'm looking at is of course the defensive end that we drafted in the third round. I forget his name. He came from that small school. I forget his name. Then the defensive end we got from Miami. But I'm looking at this guy from Utah, this safety from Utah. And the more and more I look at highlights on him, and the more and more I'm reading about this guy, the more and more I'm really starting to like him. Now I know I did my post draft grades. After that Monday after the draft, I gave him a high grade. And the more and more I started looking at this guy, he might be the best player drafted. He might be the player that's probably going to be the difference maker on our defense. He probably will be. He probably will be. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. So what is it going on? Oh, let's talk a little bit about the Pelicans. So the Pelicans came out today and said that they're going to keep Gentry and they're going to keep Dale Demps. Well, basically, here's the thing. That DeMarcus Cousins trade saved their job. That DeMarcus Cousins trade saved Dale Demps and Gentry. Because if it wasn't for DeMarcus Cousins, the Pelicans was going to be looking like below average. And when you bring on a dynamic player like DeMarcus Cousins, I mean, he's actually more dynamic than I thought he was. I mean, how many 7-footers can sit here and shoot a three like a guard and then go in and get the board and go in and have post move? Honestly, and I might even call myself crazy for saying this, but quite honestly, when I looked at him and Anthony Davis on the court, I think that DeMarcus Cousins might be better than Anthony Davis. Because, see, Anthony Davis is more of a streaker, drive to the rim, but he's so many jump shots. And he's not that consistent in a jump shot. There are going to be games, yes, he can be hot and knock them down. But he's just not consistent with the jumper. and he doesn't really like to get in the post. Um, as far as offensive rebounding, he doesn't really like to go for the offensive rebound. But you can't take away the numbers. He scores and he gets those numbers somehow. So he is a great player. It's just that he relies too much on the jumper. But DeMarcus Cousins' jumper is consistent. His 3-point shot is really consistent. And that's why I kind of say that maybe DeMarcus Cousins is better than Anthony Thomas. And when you have DeMarcus Cousins, you got Anthony Thomas, and you add Drew Holiday, that's a big three right there. And don't forget about instant grits. Don't forget about instant grits. Instant grits can come off that bench and get you 15, 20 points easily. So that's what saved Dell Demps and Gentry. That trade right there. Because what the upper management is looking at, they're looking at what this team is going to be able to do down the road. I mean, there were some games when, DeMarcus Cousins, after that trade, there were just games where the Pelicans looked like better than Golden State when they hitting jumpers. DeMarcus Cousins banging the boards, Anthony Davis is on. There were some games where you can say that this team can run Golden State out the building. And I think that's what management is looking at. They're looking at the simple fact that this team has potential. This team really does have potential to win the West if they keep everybody in place and stay healthy. They had a potential to be a 3 seed, 2 seed. Why not? Because when you look at the West right now, you got Golden State, you got Houston and San Antonio. After that, everybody else is kind of along in the same tier, to be honest with you. So I think that's what upper management was looking at. I think that's what saved Gentry, and that's what saved Dell Demps' job. Pretty much that trade right there. So I just want to talk about the Pelicans a little bit, but I really want to get out of my system about Justin Thomas. I really do hope this guy gets a chance to play quarterback for the Saints. I just think that he can be a dynamic player, and especially in the Sean Payton offense. I really do think he can just be an absolute dynamic player. Well, I'm going to end the show a little early today because, I've got some dinner cooking, and quite frankly, I am hungry. And it's smelling good. I got me a nice little pork butt roast in a crock pot that's been slow cooking all day long, so you already know what time it is. But I want to say, please, everybody, go to Facebook. Search at Sports Den Live. Please like my page. Invite all your friends to like my page. I would definitely appreciate the support. Continue to watch my live stream, the Sports Den Show. Continue to tell everybody about the show. If you can't watch the show live, and you probably, if you didn't get a chance to, if you're not watching live right now, what you're probably doing right now is you're probably watching the replay on my YouTube channel, the Sports Den Show YouTube channel. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can always catch the replays of the show. Always catch the replays of the show. And hopefully by the end of this week, I have everything together. Right now I'm having to use my old computer because the computer that I was trying to use at first, it can't handle the software where I'm able to play my intro song and show my highlights and show, do some extra stuff. So I'm actually going to take this computer back. I'm going to get another computer so I can run the software so the Sports Den Show can be even more complete. That's my ultimate goal because that's what I want. I want you all to have the best experience possible with the Sports Den Show. So, once again, Facebook, Sports Den Live, search it. Like the Sports Den Show Facebook page. Follow me on my social media, on Twitter, at the Sport Den Show. Notice I said sport. I didn't say sports. I said sport. You got to leave the other S off of sports. So it's at the Sport Den Show. That's my Twitter. Look for me on Instagram, the Sports Den Show. Look for me on Facebook at the Sports Den Show, at the Sports Den Live. That's the official Facebook page of the Sports Den Show. Did I leave anything up? Yeah, I think that's about it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show. I want to thank Mike from Plaquemine. I want to thank Tyler G. I want to thank, let's see, what was the gentleman's name? I don't know if I can scroll back up to get to him. Oh, yeah, Wagwin Piston. Hopefully that might be his real name. I'm not really. So I want to thank everybody that tuned in to the show. Thank you everybody for listening, for looking at the replay. And we're going to do it again tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here on the Sports Den Show. I'm your host, David King. Everybody have a good evening. Get plenty of rest and wake up tomorrow nice and refreshed. I'm out.